Well, good day, everyone. This is CERT Instructor Ron. Hey, I want to go over a few things with you, um, especially if you're a CERT responder of some type. Um, what I want to do is kind of go over with you the things that I have on my phone and why I have them. And so some of these things are not going to be available to everyone, and that's because you have to have some sort of licensing or something like that with ham or something like that. So there's other programs that might give you a listen to some things, but um, these programs are very important to me. They're ways to communicate. Not only are they ways to communicate, it's ways to get information for like storms and things like that. Uh, Things that'll beacon a location for me. Some of the things you can get, like I think there's an app out there called 360 Life 360, I think, and that'll beacon for you. So um, but you have to download that app to get it. So these are important apps, in my opinion. There may be other ones that will substitute it, but the ones that I know I've used for a while, and I know they're reliable. I can't say they're the most reliable, but they're reliable and they've served me well. So maybe you have something on your phone like this, maybe you don't, but if you're new to CERT or emergency management or some program like that, it may be you might want to take a good look at it and think about them and implement them for yourself. So I'm going to get into those. I'm going to show them to you. Um, I'm not going to bore you, but in my book, they're very important. I'm talking very important because there's times you can communicate with Zello. There's other times that people can see exactly where your location is, especially if you're out spotting at night, which is a big no-no for a lot of people. But um, if you're working with emergency management, yeah, you may have to get out and track those storms at night. I've done it, and it can be a little dangerous, but there's things you need to look for and whatever. But we're not going to get into it, but we'll just look at some of the apps. So um, these are some of the more important apps, or the most important apps to me. And so I couldn't live without them, so to speak. Probably could, um, but the most important thing, one of the most important things I'm going to have, is this radio here, and of course it's being used as a base station, and I can log into several different repeaters around the Oklahoma City area. Some far away is Stillwater, if you know where that's at. That's north of me, probably, I don't know, 40 miles. Um, and then I've got Kingfisher that's west of me. That's about 30 miles, just guessing. And so a lot of times I can listen to the NWS, and they're going to get reports coming in from Yukon and westward or southwestward toward my area, and I'll know what's going on around me. And the system is linked with other repeaters in southwest Oklahoma. So when things happen, I've got a pretty good idea what's coming around me, whether it's coming from one direction or another. I can listen and see what's going on. So it's a good thing to have ham radio. One of the most important tools you can have is ham radio and CERT. And the reason being that if systems go down for communications, you now have a way that you can communicate, whether it's something like a mobile in a vehicle or even in my house. If it goes down, I can hook it up with a battery, and I'm still in business. Even with that, I have a mobile, I have more mobiles, and I have more handhelds. But anyway, it's very important. Get into ham radio, study the test questions, get your tech. That's all I'm going to say. So with no further ado, let's get into some of the apps that I want to share with people and why I feel these apps are important. So some of the apps may be important um, if you got a Droid an iPhone, maybe you can't download them, but there's other apps that are out there that are like that. So let's just get right into it. So one of the things I'm going to do, itchy nose today, allergies. One of the things that I'm going to use is I've got several different things on my phone, and I'm going to let you see the screen here. So let's just get rid of the stuff on top. Not important to me, unless I need my insurance or whatever. But I've got a flashlight. Everybody has that. It's good to have. I'm going to have a real flashlight or two or three in my vest or in my bag or both. But that's not important, but it may be just handy. And one of the things that I have is Dioptra. And Dioptra, it's a good app. When it comes up, it's going to give you longitude, latitude. You take a picture. So if you're lost or you need to take a picture and send directions to somebody and you don't know where you are, it's a good app. Another one, probably have to turn it off, but Zello, as you know, is an outstanding program. We've got channels down here, names, whatever, so these are my channels. These are some of the people that are in my channel at this point in time. If I go into my channel, you can see who's leading my channels and whatever. I'm at the bottom, Paul and Katrina and Billy. He's always giving out information on bad weather or events that are going on. I'm going to turn Zello off for a minute. So there's a lot of options you can do here. You can go into your status and see available, solo, busy, offline. A lot of times if I'm busy, I'll put it on busy and go back. But again, this is push to talk. A lot of people are using it for a lot of different things, whether storm spotting or team communications and CERT. This is probably the best tool that you're going to have, and you can use CERT for, or not CERT, but Zello for meetings for CERT and a lot of different things. You can have one-on-one conversations. You got mods on there, whatever. So it's a really good program. Another one, Chaser Locator, and that's something that you can activate. I think this is only available on Android, I think. And you can send reports and spotter network reports and whatever. I don't use it. It's just something that causes your signal to stay up longer and better, supposedly. And I think it helps track in the field. So if you were a spotter in the field and did running around in your county working with emergency management, this is something that they could use with a spotter network to make sure that your beacon's staying up. And times, I'm just telling you, it's tough when you get out there. This is Radar Scope. This is a really good program. The red dots are spotters in the field. I don't have mine up right now, but I can hit this blue thing and it'll show exactly where I'm at. That may be my wife's beacon. She's always checking the weather, so I can see where I'm at. And if you hit on or touch on one of those red dots, it will show you a name. And the NWS can actually contact those people and get a report for them or from them, either way. And so that's one of them. Another good program to use, and you have to be a ham radio operator. I say again, ham radio operator, and that's Echolink. When it comes up, there's locations, repeaters, links, whatever, and this is all around the world. So this is a really good program. It's like Zello, but for ham operators. You can get on repeaters and talk to people about anything for the most part and see what's going on. So it's a really good program. But if, let's just say, a tornado happens in Alabama somewhere, so I can get on a repeater in Alabama that's nearby, and I'll hear the ham radio operators talking about what's going on. And sometimes I think they may lock the repeaters down. You can't talk, but you can listen. But most of the time, you can talk to people. So it's a really good deal to have as a ham radio operator. So we'll exit there. So another one is Peanut. This is going to be digital radio, DMR type stuff. I think there's Braumeister on it. I don't know that much about it. I don't use it very often, but it's a really good program too. And so this is something that, again, you can talk around the world to a lot of people. So it's a really good app. And let's go with Scanner Radio. You can see that here. You can log on it and listen to all kinds of communications around the country too. All you can do is listen. It's going to be repeater based. People transmit. It could be police departments, fire departments, EMTs, whatever. But it's good. It's good to have, because if there is some event somewhere, this is another way to find out what's going on. And I can tell you, ham operators, once again, pitching ham for you, are always in the know, and they're going to communicate and tell you things. And outside of that, another app that I have, and it's pretty good too. And this is something that if you're a person with CERT, you probably want to download, discover it somehow, Google it, whatever, app search, I don't know. But anyways, you can pull this up, and it's going to tell you powered by emergency management or whatever, So they have some icons down here, and it says deploy, contact us, locations, preference, and more. And so you can see that there at the bottom. And this is a pretty good app. I'm not going to say it's an excellent app, but it's not bad at all. It will beacon your position too. So these are some of the apps that I use on my phone. I don't use them that often. The ones I use the most often are going to be Spotter Network with radar and APRS. That way, when I go to the field, there's not a doubt to where I am and where I can be. And so APRS is a really good thing. And again, I'm going to pitch SkyWarn from a ham aspect, okay? If you get involved in ham radio, a lot of times they're going to want you to download APRS, or you'll have to have a radio that beacons APRS, and I don't know, those systems can be more expensive, but you can download this app if you're ham, again, if you're a ham, and anybody can put your call sign in there when you have it on, and they can find out exactly where you are. So you can do the same thing with Zello. Going back to Zello, you can send your location. It's all dependent on data, whether you have data or not. If you don't have data, you can throw this thing away or make it a paperweight. But the most important thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to continue to say, is that radio right there. And that's because even if data goes down, and it happens, and I've been in disaster zones where there is no data or very little. And what you need to do is, if you have very little data, let's say in a tornado or flood affected area, you need to send a text. And I'm going to say that again, a text. Very short, very simple, very sweet, to the point, less than probably 10 words, and that will most likely get through. If you want to write a novel, it's not going to get through. If you want to make a phone call, it's not going to get through. But a lot of times you can send a short, sweet message, and that's what you want to do. And so a lot of us are very dependent upon our phones, but even if I didn't have this phone, I have enough confidence in that radio that I'm going to get out. I'm going to talk to other people. Even if this system's gone, my house is blown away, I've got other radios, and I'm going to communicate. And so any of you that are in CERT and that are very serious about CERT, get your ham license and study those test questions. There's about 400. You're not going to know anything, but if you study them a month, I'm pretty sure you'll go take that test and pass it. And another thing, Right now, the test is, $15 a month to go test. If you pass that, you can take the general. If you pass that, get really, really extremely lucky, and you pass the extra, you'll get all three of them for that low price of $15. But the caveat's going to be that in April 15th, they're going to go up $35. And if you have GRMS, that license is going to go down, but HAM's going to go up. But the big difference is HAM is much superior to GRMS. I know these GRMS guys are going to whine and cry, but you only have a small sliver of frequency. Whereas if you get your ham license, you get UHF and VHF, and perhaps in the tech, I don't know how much, it's not much at all, but some HF, So if you get your general, that's better. It's going to give you more access to HF. And when you get your extra, you're going to get a whole lot more, I guess, of HF. HF is high frequency AM radio that travels further. And that's all I got. I would just say for those of you that are part of CERT, get your license. Really, it's not that tough to do. And study. And you'll see why. Because if they deploy you and you don't have a way to communicate because your phone doesn't work, you need a radio. And I worked the 2013 Morno Reno tornadoes, and I can tell you the comms weren't that much. And within a year, I got my ham license, and that's what I'd say to you. So I've been out, storm spotting. I contact most often the local emergency management or the NWS, and I do it all through radio. So get your ham license, and that's all I got to say. And I hope you like this video and subscribe. If you have any questions, I'll put an email in the notes, and send me an email, and hopefully I can answer it. And best of luck to you. And so be careful. Today it's supposed to be kind of bad weather, so I just want to cover all these apps with you, and be careful out there. So that's all I got.